the dark horse of the entire format in MERMAIL Atlantean, one of the powerhouses, and I think at this point a definite tier 1 strategy. It's one of the top 3 now best decks, just slightly less popular than the Ryzeals and the Malice of the format, but if you're looking at the combo decks, you can say it's even more potent than the Malice strategy, but they both have their strengths. I think it's just, if you had to go second against a strategy, I think you'd rather go second against Malice than you would against MERMAIL.
Yeah, the way that the MERMAIL Atlantean deck also plays into the Malice, like board interactions that they're going to have, it works out pretty well for the MERMAIL Atlantean player a lot of times, as long as they can navigate around something like Dimension Shifter. It can play through those interruptions. A lot of the Malice stuff interacts with cards on the field, banishing something from the field, getting something off the field, but they have ways to just keep on extending from the hand beyond that too. So this could be favored here for the MERMAIL Atlantean. You know, it feels like just the other day, you know, I was teaching BYSTIAL how to swim. You know, the MERMAILs were my like little pet deck, and everyone was telling me how, oh no, it's not that good, not that great. It's all about the Fire Fist. Now look at us, 25 years later, MERMAIL's still part of the meta. Where's the bear at? Who knows? Not here. That's the Fire Fist bear.
The format you're referring to, there are duelists playing here today that were not even born yet.
So it dates me, that is for sure. Yeah, I think the Dragon duelists are about in that right age range for when the MERMAIL cards first came out. Back in, what, like 2013, I want to say?
2012. 2012.
That's even longer ago. But now they got new support here in Rage of the Abyss. They got some more new cards in Supreme Darkness as well that really pushed them over the edge.
Yeah, Poseidra, I think, was the defining factor that really pushed the deck over the edge. And I think it's really taking advantage of all those old cards. I mean, we were talking about cards from 2012. A lot of them don't say once per turn on them. Those Atlantean Dragoons, namely. And it's able to just really push through the main strategies that a lot of these decks are doing right now. The only way to really stop it is to like have one of those blanket effects that cut off the entire turn, something like Abyss Dweller, something like Dimension Shifter. If you can avoid those, then the deck can just steam through everything else that you do.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite parts about the new MERMAIL deck is the super ancient Deep Sea King Ceiling Cants being such a vital part of the strategy, being able to summon just an army of MERMAIL Abyss Spikes from your deck. Potentially there's other things that we could see. We're going to have to see how it's going to play out here in Game 1 of YCS Houston. Round number 5. It's Paul versus Saul. It's time to duel. But yeah, as I was kind of hinting at with the Ceiling Cant, there's a lot of ways you can go about it. You can just summon 3 Abyss Spikes, or you can play some more of like the more unique fish cards and involve like a synchro strategy and things as well.
Yeah, I think there's essentially 2 major versions of the deck. The one that tries to activate Moaning Glacier, and the one that tries to end on the barrier statue. That's usually the main difference we see a lot of players go to. And the Coelacanth just makes sure that you can see a lot of those plays. And it looks like the Malice strategy is going to be able to go first. Normal summon Dormouse is what we like to see.
That's where you want to be as a Malice player, starting things off with Dormouse.
Now, the MERMAIL strategy, because its engine is so large, it has so many cards in its deck that need to be there, you're not really having as many spots available for these points of interaction as these other decks in the format. But you typically, that means that you go for the more potent ones, such as the Mulcharmies in Fuelos and Perulia, especially since Perulia is a water, so it contributes to your strategy.
Definitely. But we see the Dormouse banishing White Rabbit. White Rabbit, you're going to be able to pay 300, special summon it back to the field, and then it will be able to set a trap. He's going to set TB11 from the deck. Now, the cool thing about the Malice cards is you can activate the traps to turn their set by banishing a Malice monster from your side of the field.
Definitely one of the parts, I mean, because those cards are so good alone to be able to use them sort of like an enemy controller, you still only want to use only 1 copy each because they are so searchable with something along the lines of White Rabbit and White Binder.
Definitely.
But there's an argument to play more. There always has been, but I think, oddly enough, the deck has always chosen to be as compact as possible to try to fit in that non-engine.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because there are some advantages to drawing the traps in your opening hand. I mean, if you draw it alongside a Malice monster, you have protection from things that may target it down, like Effect Veil or Infinite Permanence.
Yeah, typically drawing TV11 with any of the normal summons lets you play through almost anything. And
really does.
But it's just drawing TV11 by itself does nothing. So you just don't want to.
It's tough. Or the worst is like GWC06. Because at least if you have TB11, you can activate it like on your opponent's turn to like, get something going. But sometimes if you have no Malice monsters and just GWC06. Doesn't feel great.
Yeah, well, arguably the best one should be the worst one to draw alone.
It's funny. That's what I love about Yu-Gi-Oh! But it looks like judges taking a second to read Haggard Blizzard Dose. I'm not sure what we're pausing. Everything's fine here so far.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be targeting itself.
He's triggered both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, on summon, Lizardos is going to banish as cost the Dormouse to change its own attack.
Yeah, this is about as basic as it gets for a Malice play.
If this wasn't allowed, then we've been doing it all wrong for a while.
Let me consult my handy-dandy notebook and see if there's anything in here that's going to let me know.
Yeah, because Dormouse is 900 attack and...
Oh, okay. We have it's not gameplay related.
Okay.
Yeah, not gameplay related. I think maybe something's a fry on the back end, but we'll be patient with it. But
something is amiss. Yeah,
something is amiss. But Malice versus MERMAIL. So I have played Malice and play tested against the MERMAIL landing strategy before, and it was rough for me to say the least. Because the interruptions just don't line up as well. His list is actually similar to mine, where there's a decent amount of BYSTIAL Malice, a decent amount of BYSTIALs, which are great, like advancing your own strategy. But where they really shine is like when you're up against like Fiendsmith cards, and you can actually use them to cut off what your opponent's trying to do. That's not going to happen against the MERMAIL deck, as they're all water.
Yeah, they're not getting the maximum value out of the Bystials here. But also, I think what the Malice deck does, it creates infinite follow-up and a good amount of removal, right? You have solid interruptions on your opponent's turn, which is usually enough to make it to your next turn, and that usually ends the game. The thing is, your interrupts aren't strong enough against something like ATLANTEAN, where every time they put a monster on the field, it probably generated another card just in the act of doing so. So the biggest thing you have is that you are able to remove the Neptibus before it's able to activate its effect, because its effect also is cost, but that just means that you're hoping that Neptibus is the only thing that they have.
Right. I mean, it used to be, like, Neptibus, as long as you could cover the Neptibus, you were good, which is kind of why MERMAIL fell out of the graces of a lot of players for so long. But now with the cards from Rhoda, the cards from Suda, mainly the ones from Rhoda, the Byst Shrine and the Atlantean squad, they both get you access to a card from your deck to your hand that you can be able to special summon. The squad just summons a monster from your deck, which is crazy.
Yeah, Shrine can do either. She can add to hand or summon it from deck.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Either way, Coelacanth is hitting the field.
Yeah, exactly. Usually you want to summon it to the field, but there are certain scenarios where you can't add it to hand. That is true. But I'm excited to see the MERMAIL deck in action. Like I said, it's a deck that I used to play. I remember, like, when it first came out, people didn't think Bystius was even good, and I was like, I'm running 3 of it, because I think they just overlooked MERMAIL Abyss Gund at the time and how useful that was. But it looks like we're good to go, so we're jumping right back into the gameplay like we never stopped. And the Haggard Lizardos is going to banish the Dormouse from the graveyard.
That is huge, by the way. Impulse on the Dormouse. That is one of the few interactions that only so many decks can even have, and it cuts them off entirely if they don't have a way to follow it up.
Yeah, that's pretty big here, because the whole point of the Haggard Lizardos is you're climbing up your Lynx ratings. You're using the 2 monsters to go into Link 2, bring back another monster to go into the all-important Link 3 from Malice, and it does cut them off. That Dominus Impulse was huge.
Now we'll have to see if Paul has a play here. Sometimes MERMAIL is not the most consistent deck ever, but that is one of the best summons here.
Yeah, we talked about the Prince.
Do we have a response here? I think I saw a quick play spell card that can be functional, given it's not the best in this situation, but it actually... Oh, no, it doesn't work. Lizardos is already on the field. There is no target.
There's no target for...
Metaltronus can negate.
I guess, yeah. Oh, that would be the target in his extra deck, because it's a water. I see what you're saying. Okay.
It's a 800 attack water, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, no.
But no, it's going to be resolved. It's going to send squad as cost. Well, okay, not necessarily resolving it. This is actually a decent time to activate infinite impermanence. Yeah, we're going to be getting it there. This cuts you off of getting access to Dragoons if you didn't already have it in your hand, because we're sending squad.
Yep, the squad will still be able to special summon from the deck.
This is going to grab Pike here, almost certainly. And we'll see if there is access to Dragoons in Paul's hand. It feels really bad having to activate a card like Infinite Impermanence on an effect that sends a card of value for cost.
You're still special summoning a monster from your deck, but you have to.
Yeah, like adding a card from deck to hand is still really good too. And there is... Oh, no, we're just going to summon Dragoon straight from the deck here.
Makes a lot of sense.
If we have a way to pair it with something now. We have 4 cards in hand. Likely not too many useful cards if we didn't go for Pike here. Let's see how Paul navigates. The MERMAIL strategy, because it has so many options, there's so many fluid ways to play the deck, it can be very difficult to get see the lines. But now we have Shrine to send the Neptibus here.
That was the fastest Shrine I've ever seen.
From the hand.
He scooped that Neptibus up and sent it to the graveyard as quick as possible.
Sends a water from my hand or field to the grave.
It is cost, so
it is a cost. Makes sense.
Level 7 Fish Aqua or Sea Serpent, and either add it to my hand or special summon it.
Thoroughly explained to his opponent. But yeah, he's ready. So it's special summon to the deck. I'm assuming he's going to use that.
That gets met with Ash Blossom.
Ring.
That is the perfect card to Ash. That's the one you want to Ash every time. Now, and that was so expensive. Neptibus will not be able. Oh, Neptibus can summon.
Yeah, sent to the graveyard as a cost, right? So he can summon back.
It can summon back the squad, which
that's good because the squad can turn your monsters into level 7s.
Effective Neptibus to summon Shadow Squad out of the graveyard.
All right.
At the very least,
this is what I'm talking about. Like if they have the right cards, the Atlantean Mermaid deck can just keep putting monsters on the field. It won our YCS in Argentina just last weekend. That had over 700 players. It won the Team YCS. Not sure where it was, what the location was, but was it Ecuador? I want to say.
I
believe it was, but it won 2 of the players in the team were playing it. So that meant that every round, one of them had to win.
I think that was, it might have been, I honestly don't remember. I think Ecuador was won by Landon with Fire King.
Oh, so maybe it was El Salvador.
Yeah, okay.
And now, so he's going to Pot of Prosperity for 3. I didn't see what he grabbed. Pot of Prosperity and MERMAIL is interesting. So at least Sal will be taking half damage this turn.
Yeah, like we got to the point that there was enough interruption that the game wasn't immediately over, but you're still going to be generating enough advantage that you should be able to lock the game down now. And we're going to use Shadow Squad effect, discard the Neptibus that was added, I believe.
So now they all become level 7.
I believe Neptibus, because it's one of the newer ones, 2016, as a frame, is once per turn for its effect.
I'll target White Rabbit.
Okay, we're chaining Baldrake to go after the White Rabbit.
So he's trying to get a Malice monster on the field.
Not sure what good it can do. None of the traps. A second impulse.
Another impulse. Oh, he's just trying to get the Baldrake on the field to have an interruption to be able to banish a monster and summon. Because he has the Baldrake plus a Lighter Dark, which is not your greatest interruption, but something. And at this point, Sal's just looking for anything that he can use to put up a defense before he drowns in this tidal wave of water effects.
And he is unfortunately drowning a lot right now. There's another impulse in the graveyard. The Baldrake will be destroyed by the effective impulse as well.
And then because I have the other Dominus Impulse. So I have a trap in the grave. I have the other Dominus Impulse that I used on the Dormouse the last turn. So because I have this trap in the grave, it destroys the... Okay. So the Baldrake gets destroyed, yep.
See a Baldrake?
I think if I want to... Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he might have a chain. Okay, yeah.
I wonder what he would chain here that would help in this situation.
Nothing.
Nope, yeah.
All right, now open game state again. Let's see if Paul's going to overlay his 2 monsters for a rank 7.
And we're talking about extremely powerful cards that the MERMAIL deck has access to. We're going to go see the power of the rank 7s in this deck, because you can climb up into either Gaios or Abystrite.
I can summon the Shrockets.
Yeah, but it looks like he is going with Abystrite.
Abystrite is going to, I believe, either summon or does it summon or attach? I don't even remember.
I think it summons.
Okay, and then you can overlay your rank 7
into the Poseidra.
Yep, the Poseidra Abyss. And this is one of the
Dragon Lord.
One of the most ridiculous cards ever printed.
He definitely calls the Atlanteans. His second effect is straight up call the Atlanteans. Special summon back to 3, level 3 or lower.
That's how you make trap cards good. You put them on a monster.
There you go. Spell card. Quick play.
That lets me do 2 for cost and dump a water. And if it resolves, I can non-target bounce 3 cards on the field.
That's pretty good. And it will be triggering the Dragoons as well.
Great.
All right, so he's going to activate TB11. That's the Ash Blossom.
Just Ash, okay.
Just has something at every move that Saul makes.
I mean, we were talking about how the MERMAIL deck doesn't have as much space for non-engine or for more powerful ones, but like, I mean, those were 3 really good ones.
High impact, yeah. All right, now he is, since he detached the Dragoons as a cost to activate a water monster effect.
Does Poseidra Abyss resolve?
And he's going to send the other Dragoons to return.
attack gain is only for the turn, right? Is it back down to...
No, he's at 800.
He is at 800?
He was never changed. Oh, wait. Actually,
Yeah, because you targeted with Dormouse.
Right.
I was just making sure. New triggers, 2 mandatory Dragoons.
So he's going to be able to search for both of those Atlantean Dragoons here. The deck just keeps on going.
Like, it's not even close to being done. You wonder if he can find enough damage throughout.
With Pot of Prosperity, he might be able to put 16,000 damage out there.
I mean, he made sure to leave up the Lizardos for the effect of Poseidra so that he can also send a cost to have its effect to bounce.
Yeah, Poseidra's incredible going second.
Essentially is another copy of Neptibus.
Yeah, being able to send a water monster from your deck for cost or return a card on your opponent's side of the field to their hand. Incredible.
Yes. Yes. Yep. Yeah, so the effect of Shadow Squad on field.
Judge has got a lot of questions for this one.
My water's level 7.
I mean, they were just confused
so
too.
I used it to level modulate. Yeah.
Your Shadow Squad, when you discard a water, you can turn all effects on, or turn all your monsters on the field into level 7.
I feel like that effect happened quite some time ago,
Yes,
too, to be
it is.
talking about right now.
And then I turned the Dragoons into a 7, which I was then able to do.
Maybe they took a quick siesta, just a quick nap before all this was going on. I don't know. We've been following it just fine.
Getting added to my hand off of the Dragoons.
They just might have never played this combo before.
I mean, that's another advantage to the Atlantean MERMAIL deck is that a lot of players haven't faced it, haven't practiced against it. It's hard to use at a high level. There's a lot of intricacies, a lot of things you have to pay attention to. As you mentioned, a lot of the effects aren't once per turn. A lot of the effects that send water monsters as cost, like other cards and other strategies wouldn't ever do that, so it's kind of unusual.
You're at 74. Is there a calculator, or do I just need to do math on paper? Okay.
Asking to borrow a calculator, that's a new one.
Okay.
It feels bad if you're the opponent facing it down.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Saul's just sitting there like, man.
You can use your own calculator. You don't have to always use paper, but it's definitely good to use paper. But you don't have the option to like request a calculator.
I mean, I just haven't heard it before, but I guess like it should be accessible.
I've never heard it. Yeah.
And there is the Poseidra sending the squad to summon itself, and then on summon using its effect as to send from deck as cost to bounce a card on the field. It's going to go put the Lizardos back in the extra deck.
Nope.
Half damage from the Pot of Prosperity.
I'm sure the judges will realize that, or Saul will. I'm sure they'll realize it's half damage because he used Pot of Prosperity. There's 3 cards banished. Where do those come from? It's Pot of Prosperity. I think they're realizing it.
Let's just take a long look at your graveyard, please.
This is 44 and this is 3,000. So this is 74 altogether.
Right.
37 points of damage. 3,700 points.
If you could do another 74, then you'll get there.
Do all these attacks connect? Okay.
No.
Why would you do this? Okay.
It's okay. They did that. I guess Pot of Prosperity is one of those interesting. All right, let's jump into it. It's game 2 of our 5th round feature match here at YCS Houston. It's MERMAIL Atlanteans taking on BYSTIAL MALISS.
Will Paul be able to hinder the Malice strategy again, or will Malice be able to do its full combo?
All right, looks like both players are going to pick up a PE minor. Both players are supposed to maintain the game state there.
It is the responsibility of both players to recognize that Prosperity was in effect. And, man, I've mentioned it so many times, I might have just jinxed it for Saul here, but not opening a single Malice card. He's going to set one and pass back to Paul. This could be a quick one.
Activate Deep Sea Minstrel, pitching Dragoons.
Oh, Minstrel pitching Dragoons. We're going to take a look at Saul's hand here, banish a card until the end phase. But we're going to be chaining his own artifact, Lancia.
Whoa! Wait, that's insane. It's because of Crossout. He signed in for Crossout and happened to draw it.
I mean, like, sometimes you need something for the strategy too, but you are able to resolve Dragoons at least because you did discard it for a water effect. You do not get the hand knowledge now. And Saul has copies of Ash Blossom in his hand, opted not to use it on the Dragoons, holding it for likely the Shrine here. And we'll see how Paul decides to play it out. There is the Shrine pitching the Shadow Squad. The Shadow Squad will be able to summon from deck, but you have to Ash this. You have to Ash this.
Yep.
And then, again, how many effects are you going to be able to activate? The deck is just so free when it's able to resolve.
It keeps on going.
I think easily MERMAIL Atlantean is the most powerful deck currently available in the format. It just has more readily available answers in something like Abyss Dweller, which is everywhere.
Yeah, Abyss Dweller is one of the mainstay cards of the Rise Zeal strategy. Very easy to summon any sort of rank 4 in that deck, but now we're seeing Neptibus that's going to access Dragoons.
And, I mean, even without all the new cards, Mermail Atlantean in 2016 was famously, if you resolve Neptibus, the game is over. Doing damage is this deck's main game. The Neptibus is going to send another copy of Dragoons to add Poseidra to the hand. And now in a new chain, it looks like we're going to be resolving Dragoons to add another copy of, I think, Shadow Squad? Yep.
Nice, nice. Everything's coming up positive here for Paul. Just more cards after more cards.
I think that was the part I really loved about playing this deck all the way back then, in all iterations, right? The 2011 version, 2012, or sorry, 2012, 2014, 2016. I always had 7 cards in hand, just resolving my effects. It felt so good.
Definitely one of the nice feelings about playing the Mermail Atlantean cards. Let's see where he goes next. It's going to be the Poseidra. He's going to send the Neptibus
from field. Okay.
Neptibus mandatory, Chainlink 1, target Shadow Squad, and then Poseidra.
So the Neptibus is going to summon back the Shadow Squad. The Poseidra sends as a cost from the deck to return a card on south side to the hand.
Having 2 cards that just send from your deck as cost, so ridiculously powerful.
It is. Told you, Poseidra is so good at going second.
It pitches a water to special summon it from hand.
Judge making sure...
It's an option.
The judge doesn't believe these cards either. Like,
he's like, these cards do not do what these do. I just cannot fathom or wrap my head around this. Let me read your cards every time you summon one. Oh my. But yeah, Poseidra is very good.
Okay.
So it's a secret rare.
Yeah. What's the Dragoon counter, by the way? How many Dragoons have we resolved this turn?
This turn, I think this would be 2. Is it 3? It could be 3.
It's at least 3.
Yeah, it's at least 3. Oh, if it goes beyond 3, then we're in trouble. Yeah.
Oh, it usually does.
Oh.
They come back.
Oh, that's right. Then you detach them from like a bomb shark or something. Oh, man. All right, adds Atlantean heavy infantry.
And no prosperity this time. Can you find the amount of damage you need? To be fair, he also doesn't really have to. He knows his opponent didn't open any ways to play. If he just has any way to interrupt him on the following turn, that'll probably be good enough. But I think he's looking to end the game as soon as he can.
That was at least the case in game number 1. But yeah, no pot of prosperity this time for this game. But we just haven't seen... Okay, no, game's not going to end. He's just going to control this time.
I think he was having a large lack of water monsters from his hand, as we saw from him sending the Neptibus from the field here.
Yeah, the Ash Blossom still hurts, even though you still get effects from it.
Yeah, I mean, like, Ash Blossom hit the card that it was supposed to hit in the Shrine. When that card resolves, the game truly does end, because Coelacanth's aboard, and that card does way too much.
Yeah, I mean, even it's an interaction to your opponent's turn. We saw him add that Atlantean heavy infantry to his hand. That's because during his opponent's turn, he can summon back the Shrine, discard the infantry, draw a card, and destroy a card, thanks to sending the infantry to the graveyard.
And now he has the Abyss Gaios on the field as another interrupt.
Not a great one against Malice, but a decent one.
It could be powerful against the Link 3s, potentially.
True, true.
I don't
see a lot of starting cards.
Let's see if Saul finds a way out. It looks like another set here, which not necessarily out the gate for for Malice, because you know that's how you lead your plays before you normal summon. But does he have one of those normal summons?
Seeing how he had the set card last game, I don't think so. But it looks like he might go to end phase. He's going to activate the Shrine to banish it to draw a card.
All right, looks like he's not even going to take the chance. Going to get rid of whatever the set is before a normal summon can happen.
I guess you want to ash the squad.
And discards
to draw.
If it resolves, I draw one from my deck.
Yeah, and he's trying to Ash Blossom the squad.
Special a level 4 lower from deck.
All right, so now he's going to summon Pike. Attempt to summon Pike.
Copy of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. He's trying to hold his opponent off, but he's going to need a lot more than that.
Oh, well, it's just a pass after discarding another card. All right, Paul, how much damage do you have to do? You already have the Bisgaios on the field.
Summon Poseidra.
And there's Poseidra again.
I'll use Poseidra.
Just put Poseidra Abyss this time.
MERMAIL. And then sending...
Oh man, you just can't give this deck more turns. Look, how much of your deck you've went through just turn 1, but you still have more resources to...
as just the single card.
At least we're out of Dragoons. We're not generating as much advantage, but the Poseidra being able to hit the field.
I'll use the effects of Shadow Squad.
Yeah, he keeps setting this card, but I don't think he realizes like having cards your opponent can return to your hand is not good against Mermail. You don't want them to be able to send cards this cost.
There's a third
copy
Ash.
of Ash Blossom. No, 3 Ash Blossoms are effectless. He's like, please look at this. This is what I'm dealing with here. No Malice monsters in sight. They're still banished from the previous game, not coming to his hand. Just not actually banished. They're not anywhere to be found.
And now we lost access to the Coelacanth. It's in the graveyard now. I don't think there's any way to actually get that back. Or actually, no, that's not true. We can summon it back with an Anemone, right?
Yep, that card's insane too. The Marincess, that link that just lets you summon back from the graveyard, extremely useful.
Let me make sure it doesn't say level 4 or lower. It might.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's any water monster. It might be level 4 or lower.
It summons link monsters back in, no? Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's any water monster. But
it's been a
we'll
while.
Pull up a text just to make
1500
sure.
or less attack.
1500 have a restriction.
I knew there was something wrong. Like, okay.
Less attack. Okay. All right. Well, Magnemite, as I mentioned, is not as. Wait, what is he trying to banish? Lancia, right?
Yeah.
I saw him looking at the Ash Blossoms, but no, the Lancia is a light. The Bestial's nowhere near as good against Mermail as other strategies are.
Magnemite's able to hit the field here, banishing the Lancia, and then activating to add another Bestial during the end phase. But nope, that's going to be negated with Infinite Impermanence. And then we're going to attack it with the Poseidra here.
Just Poseidra control. All right, so there is still a small window of opportunity here for Saul.
Yeah, a lot of the gas has been now used. Once the Poseidra leaves the field, it will provide a lot more.
Got it. Okay. Stand by.
What did he draw? Is that a Malice in Underground?
Now or never.
It is Malice in Underground.
Activate.
I'll chain artifact.
He'll be able
Oh, okay. That'll
Wait,
do
does
it.
he has the cross out, but does he play? Did he side in more than one Lancia?
Yeah. That happened.
That
He doesn't, and he's just gonna set the cross out for a third time. Third time's the charm, I guess. His life points are.
he can just activate the Poseidra again, but I guess it doesn't really matter because. Oh, Teus Pitch Infantry. I mean, that just puts enough damage on the field, right?
Chain link 1, chain link 2, and then this will pop the field.
Gonna go after the Malice in Underground, taking it leaving no prisoners here. Just destroying everything, stopping every card that Saul can have.
I mean, I think those cards are all just mandatory. You had to like, if it's activatable.
Is it? It might be.
I mean, it's opponents, so yeah. It doesn't never has to go through your own cards.
If you have the option to destroy something, you might as well destroy it.
Yeah. We got another.
Pop the underground.
Got another copy of Abyss Shrine here. Now if we're able to summon anything else, just make up the difference. Normal summoning it will do. I'm pretty sure it has like 1500 attack.
Goes to battle, attack.
Abyss Shrine gets in there. Teus for 17. And that is enough.
Bam, bam. Paul is going to walk away with the victory here in round number 5 with his Atlantean Mermail.